Gentlemen, and welcome back to the Intercontinental Racing League Tier 1 Season 2 Round 7 here at Japan. And as you can see, it's a very wet Japan right now, but as you guys will be quite used to just having me commentating on my own, I'm actually joined alongside me by a very special guest today, a very talented commentator as well. I am joined alongside me by Jess Games. So Jess, how are you today?
Well, I'm very, very excited to cover this session around Japan. I've commentated on a race yesterday in Japan, so it should be interesting. But my first IRL race, and it is chucking it down in qualifying. So I'm looking forward to this. It should be fun.
Well, what can I say? Expect the unexpected in this series. There's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of action, and there's a lot of spanners that get thrown into the work. But Jess, it's good to hear at least one of us have some knowledge on this track right now. So it'll be interesting to see what these drivers are able to do. It looks like Valu has retired from session. Don't know if that is because he hit the wall or he did have a quali ban. But Jess, I know it's your first time commentating on Iron. You don't know many of the drivers, unless you might know a few of them. So it is going to be difficult, but I am going to have to ask you for your top three.
Oh, Kai. You put me on the spot, but I was expecting it, so it's fine. So I'm going to go for, because he's OP on this game, he was unlucky in the last race, went in his debut for IRL. I'm going to go Sly Guy for pole. I'm going to go Jay for second, and I'm going to go for bowl one, maybe Microlander in third. That's going to be my prediction.
To be honest, I had pretty much the exact same top three in mind, except for I had Jay, then I had Sly Guy, then Microlander. So it's good to see we're at least on the same page. So we have the same thought train right now, but as we're just on board with Sly Guy, just currently driving his way around this Japan track, getting used to it right now on his first run. Yes, first time commentating, so how about you take us for a lap on the Haas?
Oh, lovely. So you're now just past Dunlop and you're going to head towards the first of the two Daimlers, which catches me out quite a few times, actually. It's strictly enforced the track limits there, so we may see a few invalidations around here. Hairpin, you're coming up to now, a great overtaking opportunity. You can always get a chance to dive it up the inside, but in qualifying, though, you need to take the outside. Brake just after the turn 10 kink. And now you're going to be going through this long straight here just before Spoon, which is actually named after the shape of the two corners, really, which I don't think it's shaped like a spoon, but there you go. Spoon is it's hard to nail, really. I've done a few races on this game around there, and it's very, very difficult. You just brake down to sit for a little bit, but obviously in the wet, maybe you could have it in a different gear as well. And now the famous 130R. You don't have to brake too much in the dry bit in the wet. You just lift just a little bit and be more cautious as you head towards the Casio Triangle. It's known as a centre cross chicane to some, as some of you may know from 1989 on what happened, but we won't go too much into it. Anyway, heading towards the final corner, and it's a 138.9 for silly Sly Guy. Time still to be set for all the remaining drivers, Kai.
I'm just gonna say it now, Jess, you're completely showing me up on the commentary today. That was an amazing lap that you commentated on there. A lot of detail thrown in, so I hope you guys at home had your notepads out, taking a couple of notes of what Jess had mentioned. But currently, City Sly Guy on a 138.938. The only driver close to him is doing a mid 140, which is Peruna. I think that may be a reserve for the race, or someone has changed their name there, but that's interesting to see that Sly Guy's nearly 2 seconds faster than anyone else driving right now.
I mean, it just goes to show how much he's practiced for this game. Don't forget, he actually came from the PS4 side as well, and two of the platforms, they're completely different in terms of the way they handle just a little bit, and the way Silly Sly Guy has come to this PC platform. He's shown everybody that he could do it on any platform, it doesn't matter. He's got unlucky last week, but today he's going to show that he means business. I know it's a little bit further into the season. He only joined midway, but he still can score a lot of points, and he's looking very, very comfortable right now as well. And quite a few people may go on a few extra laps on these wet tyres because they only have a few less wets compared to the inters and the dries for the whole weekend. So they've got to choose wisely, really, on what tyres they go on to. Or do they go on to new tyres or much older tyres to set their laps? And it kind of reminds me of the Styria Grand Prix in real life, where it was chucking it down and they just have to completely manage their strategies. Vexit goes into the wall 130R, which is not what you want to do, but hopefully he can get his car together as well. I'll double check to see if Balu actually retired due to the fact that he got quali ban. I think that rings a bell, but I'll just double check on that, Kai.
It's been disqualified for driving the wrong way. So Vexit has been disqualified whilst trying to turn his car around out of the gravel trap. That's very harsh by the in-game penalty system. He didn't actually drive that far backwards, but you know, Vexit unfortunately getting disqualified from the qualifying session here today. We know that he's got a lot of pace hidden under the hood of that McLaren. He's a very fast driver, so I'm expecting to see some great overtakes from Vexit in the race. But as you can see from the timing tower, a lot of the drivers are caught out by these conditions and were not expecting this to come.
No, they weren't. I think as soon as we loaded in, I think we were like, oh God, no. And then I think the drivers are thinking exactly the same thing. Let's hope it's not like that for the race, because I think the main reason why they're struggling is there may be different conditions in the race. It may be completely dry. So that most of these guys will probably be running a full dry setup in the full wet conditions, and you just can't control the car like that. It's literally impossible. I find it tricky with a full dry setup in a full wet track. So that's probably why everyone's a few seconds off Silly Sligo right now, and people just going into the wall. I think that's what's happening. They just got to find the right balance, I think.
It's sometimes wet in this game, but this is absolutely torrential conditions. You can't have visibility more than 50 meters ahead of you. You can just see the clouds and all the fog from these terrible, I guess you could call it a storm right now. The rain just lashing down onto the track and on top of the drivers. These are just not the best conditions to be driving in right now.
Yeah, exactly. Nubidy's about to start his lap on, I think it's fresh set for wet. I hope he has enough to last for the rest of this qualifying session as well, which I don't think he does, so he's got to get a move on the course. Michael Landis also going out. I think he's just finishing his lap on the Casio Triangle. Then the number 24 driver as he heads towards the final corner. He doesn't actually take the shortest run to the line this time, as it's a 141.668, which puts him in P10. And to be honest, qualifying position does not matter for these drivers if you're wanting to go on a different tyre, because they get free choice anyway, as long as the weather stays like this.
Yeah, and I think something to pay close attention to is that as it's a West qualifying session, if it is a drive race, these drivers will have a free choice of tyres. So I think there's going to be a big mix of strategies, but soft hards is the normal strategy that drivers go for. But I think we will see a couple of people starting on the hards, a couple of people starting on the mediums, and a couple of people starting on the soft. So I think there'll be a diverse range of strategies throughout the field, and it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that.
I've seen some people, I commentated on a race yesterday, I've seen some people do softer mediums around it. I don't know how they do it. I really don't, but I did a one-stop race on Sunday where someone did softer mediums, and it's literally impossible. I was watching my tyre wear on my final soft run, and it was still insanely high, so I don't know how they do it. So yeah, I think softer hard is the way to go, but if the guys are aiming for like esports and stuff, I understand why they'll be doing softer mediums. Maybe their time management is a lot better, and maybe they're pushing a bit harder, as Wisp is about to start as well. We've got a mixture of teams in the top 5, apart from, I believe, the 2 Williams cars, 4th and 5th, and we've got I think it's Haas, Renault, and an AlphaTauri 1, 2, 3. You wouldn't be expecting that in real life, to be honest. And all the liveries have been revealed, apart from, I believe, Ferrari as well. Whilst the session is dying down a little bit, what do you think of the liveries so far?
I think there's quite a few interesting liveries. The Haas livery, to be honest, got it reminds me of the Russian flag a bit, red, white, and blue. Also, you could bring back the old Williams Colgate meme. Everyone loves that one. But I think there's a lot of interesting liveries. The new Williams livery. I don't know. I haven't really seen it properly. I'll have to have a closer look at it. But it's very different to previous seasons. But probably my favourite livery right now has to be the Alpine. Alpine livery is absolutely beautiful in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we share the same opinion on that one, the Alpine. I think it's absolutely... it just has the French and the British vibe all in one. And, I mean, obviously Esteban Ocon is a French driver and Alpine is a French team. So it's nice they're going back to their roots, to be honest. And another livery I'm liking as well, the Aston Martin livery. My favourite colour's green anyway, but wow, it's... I have to say I'm glad Aston Martin's back on the grid. I mean, they got Vettel in for a start as one of their drivers, and Vettel seems very pleased to be back in this new team. But we got more people starting their laps again. Actually, no, they're not. And the only one that's on a flyer at the moment is Sam, just heading through the hairpin now as well. He got his first point last week. Well, actually, first couple of points. He finished I think it was P8, I believe, as well in Australia. So it was a long time coming for the young British driver, and hopefully the sign of many more things to come. Would he get another points finish today? It's a different story, but yeah, he's got some points on the board at least, which is better than some drivers who have yet to score.
Yeah, I think that the reason why City Sly Guy is so far ahead is that City Sly Guy went out straight away and did that flying lap time, and looking at the rain pour and stuff like that, I think it's only fair to assume that the track has just gotten worse.
It looks like it, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of standing water, I have to say, around here. I wouldn't imagine it would get worse, but we'll have to find out as the session goes on. We thought that the track will be the most grippy at towards the end, but I think with the rain getting heavier, it's not going to be good if you're the likes of Michael Lander that wants to beat Silly Sly Guy for pole position, as he is just invalidated. And I have to say, invalidating your lap around the four-way conditions is, well, to be honest, you're more than likely going to do it if you're on the dry. If you're on the dry, you're hardly going to see people get a few penalties as well. So, it's quite different, I'd say. It's a different track, I have to say. Different braking zones as well people have to worry about. 130R, you can't take full flat out as well. I do believe Michael Lander has backed out, so I'm just seeing who else is on the lap. I believe that's Scars, who has just finished one. I think he hasn't improved on position, but he's improved his time. He's now 1.5 seconds behind the leader. Is anyone going to get into the under 1 second margin to City Sly Guy? I just don't think it's going to happen, I think. City Sly Guy is going to hope that there's going to be rain at the race, because if it is, I think it's going to be an easy slam dunk win for City Sly Guy. I think he could get fastest lap at this rate in the race, so he's going to get the hat trick at the moment.
Silly's looking very, very comfortable and fast in these current conditions, but I don't think we will see Silly go back out onto the track. As we've seen, not many drivers are improving on their lap time, so I think the Haas driver will just sit it out for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I think he will. He doesn't need to improve anymore.
Never mind, he's out on the track.
Oh, that is an example, Kai, of a commentator's curse. Well, a jinx, actually.
Is it really a curse?
Well, it's a jinx. There we go. A jinx.
Yeah.
Like, you say, oh, he's not going to go out, and boom, he's out. I think he just was listening to you, Kai, and say, oh, you know what, I'll go out anyway. Prove that I can go faster.
Yeah, he's going to prove me wrong, and he's going to set a faster lap time here. There we go. Try the commentator's jinx once again. Let's see if it happens.
Jack's across the line. Going across the line now. Can he get ahead of Michael Lander? Yes, he does with a P2. 4 tenths. There we go. I was hoping someone would get within the second range of Silly Sly Guy. Well, the under 3 second. And Top Jack has done it, I have to say. Rainmaster himself, the best of the rest as it stands, because Silly Sly Guy is OP in the wet. So, yeah, Jack is best of the rest right now.
Shows that if Jack's improved on his lap time, it does look like the conditions are getting better. There's much less fog on the track. You've got better vision, so I do think we are going to see an improved lap time here by Silly.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably why he's going out again. If he saw that the conditions weren't improving, if he sees the deltas were not improving as much, then he would have probably stayed in the pits. But I think he was looking at his delta times very, very closely, which is the times I look at when it's wet to drive. I know that it's coming down rapidly. I'm like, right, I need to basically, I need to go out. It's the same with this. Even if you just notice a small difference, then it's crucial if you go out at the right time as well, as Silly Sly Guy's about to start his lap. Phil is in the middle of his lap as well. I'm assuming Jay will improve as well. Wazak comes across the line at P3 for him. And Jay, you're right, the conditions are improved because Wazak, I think, was lower down the grid just now, and now he's in the top 3.
Yeah, great lap from Wazak there. Nooby-Doo quickly snatches that P3 off the AlphaTauri. That is going to be Nooby-Doo in the Racing Point up to P3 with a 139.6. Talking about P3, it looks like it's now going to go to Jay. How many people are going to swap positions for P3 now?
Loads of people, Kai, I have to say. And I think I won't be surprised if we'll see the likes of maybe even Scars get up there as well as... Nope, he's not. He's slowing down a bit. I think he was 1.3 seconds off his pace. But you never know. The game... No, he's off his pace a little bit. So he's going to go once again for another lap. Michael Lander... I won't be surprised if Michael Lander improves. He's not on a lap yet, but he has time to improve. He's on his final lap now, actually. Silly Sly Guy is only a few 100ths down on his previous best. He's not matching his time, unfortunately, but holy moly. I've just seen Jack's new time. 48 100ths.
Wow.
48,000 slower than Silly Sly Guy. He was 4/10 slower a minute ago. Jack is on fire.
It's a shame that he hasn't been able to snatch that P1, though. That is going to be the end of qualifying for Jack. So he's got very close to pole, but he just hasn't been able to grasp it. As it looks like that was a purple Sector 2 from Silly Sly Guy, if I'm not mistaken. As he goes down into the final chicane using all the curbs available to him. Gonna plant his foot on the throttle, make his way down to line. What's it gonna be? Gonna be a 138.6.
There we go.
0. That's the lap we were looking for.
That is an OP lap from Silly Sly Guy. Could Jack find some time? He's 2/10 up on Sector 2. He's still on a lap. Yes, he's going on a lap because you can't go more than one lap on these wet tyres because you won't be using it in the race, luckily. Can Jack get pole position? Nope, he can't, but he's improved on his time by a few tenths. He's still in P2. Wazak, I believe, is on a lap, but he's a few laps down. I'm seeing who's coming across the line. I believe it's Scars. Yeah, Scars comes across the line. 3 tenths up at the moment. It's P6 for him, and I'll let you take us through the rest of qualifying, Kai.
Yeah, and Jay currently on a hot lap, just being able to cross the line to start himself up.
No, he's not.
And that's 3 rounds. Oh, that's Jay into the wall. That's so unfortunate. The Williams driver just pushing that tiny bit too hard, and it's massively cost him in the end. So, that's it. Just a couple of drivers finishing up on their laps. Silly Sly Guy actually on a flying lap.
Michael Lander on pole.
Whoa. Michael Lander, 138.318. Silly Sly Guy, 2/10 down on his time. Is he going to be able to do anything magical in this final sector? He goes around the final chicane now. He's going to have to massively find something as he's just about across the line now. What's he going to do? He doesn't improve. Microlander on pole.
I was not expecting that, but we've still got a few more people across the line. Peruna, could he pull a shot and get himself up the order? No, he does not. Nick has invalidated. Wisp has invalidated. Sam is still on that, but he's slowing down. And he's not going to match everybody else's time. Jensen.
He's flying over.
Yep, Jensen's down as well. So, yeah, Michael Lander on pole, who hasn't been on pole for the whole session. He just done it by a whisker, to be honest. He's done it at the last possible moment. Silly Sly Guy is thinking, how on earth did he set that time?
Yeah, Silly Sly Guy just left hanging there. Microlander manages to snatch pole by 3/10, so it's quite a margin between the two drivers. Microlander just found something in the car or on the track that the Haas driver wasn't able to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's also a king of the wet conditions as well. We've seen it in Ryan's E-Prees as well, which Ryan's a partner of us at IRL, so, you know, we know he's good in the wet. So it's nice to see you delivered when it counted. It's a shame that he waited until the last moment, but that's what happens in league racing. You'd like to have... You like to shock people. You think, oh, I've done enough, but you're thinking, hang on, someone's in front of me now. And that's worrying for City Sly, guys. We're waiting for Jensen to retire, so hopefully he retires now, please, because we can get going. But we got 10 seconds left anyway, so I'm just seeing the spread of the gaps at the moment. The top three are insanely close. Well, it's still like between 4 tenths. The rest are not even close to that at this stage, as we are about to start the race very, very soon. I hope it's dry. Please be it's dry. It's more interesting in the dry than in the wet, but let's go through the qualifying results, Kai.
Yeah, so it is going to be Microlander snatching that pole from Silly Sly Guy in P2. Then it's going to be Jack in P3. Then Wazuk, Nick, Peruna, then Scars, Jay, Noobidoo, and Ben rounding out the top 10 here in this very rainy Japan. Best of the rest will be Wisp in qualifying. Then it's going to be Phil, Defoe, Sam, Jensen, Dimitri, Valu, and Vexit, who was unfortunately disqualified for trying to get out of the gravel trap.
Yes, as well. So unfortunate for Vexit, but he's known, especially I think it was in the Grid Finder Invitational where he climbed his way from like near the back of the grid to finish in a good position. So it is doable. And looking at the weather at the moment, as you can see on the screen, nice and sunny with some clouds. It's not completely clear, but at least it's going to give the drivers some breathing space. Now, we were discussing in the session, they'll get free choice of tyres. They'll also get fresh tyres as well to start the race. So that means they can go on their tyres a little bit longer if they start on the soft. But we may see a mixture of strategies compared to normal starts of the race as we are waiting for everybody to ready up, of course. But now we've talked about qualifying. Could Microlander do what he did in pole in qualifying and convert it to a winning, well, basically a winning formula today?
I mean, it's going to be quite a tall order for the McLaren driver. There's a lot of competitors close around him on the grid. And just remember, not everyone might have been running that slightly tweaked to the wet setup. Some drivers will have been using full dry setups, but now we will be able to see what tyres people have got on. And majority of the grid are on mediums. There's 3 drivers on the softs and 2 drivers on the hards.
Okay, I thought more people would have been. I thought almost everyone would have been on the mediums, but with Jack going for the gamble on the softs, he thinks he can go quicker than anybody else and get past the top 2 as well. But the softs, the tyres are going to overheat so quickly. So Jack's going to pay a bit of a price, but at least it's on fresh softs, not the ones that are using qualifying because it was full wet. So it's not too bad. Same for our reserve Peruna in a P6 as well, who I can confirm he is a reserve. Sam as well, he's got nothing to lose in the situation, so I understand why he's going on the softs, but if he doesn't get past very quickly behind the ones on the hards and the mediums, he's going to be in a lot of trouble in the first stint of the race, of course. And I will get the length of the tyres to see how long each stint could go on for. Softs last 11 laps in this race, so they will have to pit roughly, I'm just looking, I had it written down, if you're doing softer hards around lap 6 to 8, if you're doing softer mediums, laps 8 to 11, and the mediums can last up to 16 laps. So expect the guys to pit around lap 16 to 18 for the soft tyres. I think the mediums can go longer than 16 laps around on this game if they want to do, but 16 laps I think is the way to go, and they can go on softs, or if they want to do medium to hard, then probably the same time if you were doing a soft to medium strategy. And I'll hand you over to you, Kai, for the start.
Oh, thank you very much, Jess. I feel privileged to be doing the start of this race, but I think it's actually a very smart strategy that Jack's went for here. He's went for the faster tyres off the start. He may feel like he just doesn't have as much pace as these leading 2 drivers, so I think he's going to try and get a jump on them on the start, and then just try and pull as big of a gap as possible from there. And it looks like Dimitri's backing off massively to try and get these drivers some colder tyres. So another interesting strategy in this field. But
are you allowed to do that?
I don't know, are you?
I don't even know. I should know, and I'm a steward, so.
But anyway, as the drivers line up onto the grid, we will have a little rest period before we get started again. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights on the gantry. It's going to be lights out and away we go. Microland again, a great start. Silly Sly Guy not lacking at all. Even there's a red pull off in the background. That's Valu. Valu's into the wall off the start, and it looks like Silly Sly Guy and Jack are going to go side by side through the first corner. Jack's still holding his line. He's going to go up the inside. Will he be able to hold it? Yes, he will. Silly Sly Guy has to back out. The Haas down to P3 now. Microlander pulling away. Half a second. Jack on those soft tyres, though. Will he be able to chase him down?
I think he has to, really, at this stage. Jack is almighty at the moment. If he doesn't get past, he's going to have a huge issue as well. Ben lost a few positions off the start, but he's gained his positions back again, and he's back up to P10. Sam's got a good start as well on the softs. He's up into 11th as well. There was a huge, I think, contact at the back of the grid with Valu, and also the Haas car of Dimitri too. He's had a bit of an issue. But apart from that, everybody else, I think, seemed to got away cleanly with the train you can see at the moment. And I think Valu's race is going to be ended at the moment, as we got Wisp in the background, I think, was just having a battle with Vexit. And Phil Vexit already up into 13th place. Let's go on board with him as we go through Spoon and Curve as he's chasing down Phil at the moment. We got Defoe, I believe, in right in the middle of this bunch as well. As Top Jack has gone for the lead in 130R.
Jax went for the lead through one of the most treacherous corners on the track. Side by side through a flat corner that cuts off on the exit. But the Renault driver has managed to pull it off, and he's pulled it off in style.
Gotta say, what a move from Top Jack. I mean, he's done it. He's done it with ease at this stage. I believe Sam picked up damage. He's gone to the pits, so we go into the pit box, and he's onto the medium. So I'm guessing he's doing either medium to hards now or medium to soft for the rest of the race. So he goes in, and he will come out, I think, in last place. But Valu had to pit as well. But we've got, I thought Wazik was having a battle there, but the Delta is stuck on 74,000. So I can't tell if he's close. No, he's not close enough to Silly Side Guy. And we got the timing glitch again. Great.
Well, I mean, it always happens on lap 2, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So, yep, it is currently Jack in the lead. Great job to get himself there. But it looks like he's used a lot of his ERS to do so. Only 50% remaining compared to Microlander's 90%. Jack, he's only in the lead by 2 tenths now. He really needs to try and get away from these drivers if he wants to make this strategy work.
Yep, exactly. I mean, Jack, I think he's got to pull a good gap now. This is crucial now. He's got Microlander behind him. He's got to make sure Microlander doesn't overtake him, and he's going to get to a point in around a few laps time, maybe about lap 8, lap 9, where the medium tyres will be roughly the same delta as the soft tyres. So that is where Microlander can really start to challenge, and maybe Silly Side Guy as well. So we'll see the soft runners maybe struggle a little bit more as we get to the lap stages of the first stint, but we'll have to find out as we got some more moves from Nick, I believe, as well on the back of Wazik. We've got a lot of moves, actually. Microlander on, there's so many battles happening on Kai. I just like Japan. This is great.
Yeah, there's a lot of action going on right now, but, I mean, am I surprised? No, this is IRL. Microlander challenging for his lead back. He feels like he should have that position. Microlander, he started on pole, and I'm sure he will be desperate to get that position back, but Jack is not going to give it up without a fight.
He is definitely not. He's shown promise of wins in the past as well. Got close to it a few times in the last few weeks, but hasn't done it. I mean, scoring good points for the Renault team. And we got a yellow flag. That is a Ferrari. And that is, I believe, Jensen. Yeah, it's Jensen. Just past Dunlop. So he's had a little bit of a mare. And he's going through the first Degner and into second Degner. He is not liking his race at all. He's hopefully going to have a much better... Oh, his right front wing is completely gone now.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I'm guessing that's going to be a trip back to the pit lane. Microlander very close to the back of the Renault right now. Dimitri retired from the session. That is on track, so there might be a safety car. Doesn't look like anything is going to happen. But Microlander 4 attempts behind, and he will have DRS down the straight. Let's see how close he gets. Jack covers the inside line. Will Microlander get within attacking position? No, he won't. Jack holds on to the lead going into turn 1.
Yeah, that's a crucial moment for Jack as he did that. It's really hard to attack, really, going through the S's and into turn 1 anyway, but turn 1 I think is the main action zone around this circuit. That's where the most overtakings as well. We can see, I think, Jay and Nick having a battle in the background. Jay right on the gearbox there, just under a tenth behind Nick. He is fast around this track and wants to get past very quickly. Jensen has retired, but to be honest, it's expected. He goes past in the first Degner. Jay on Nick. Amazing move there as he's looking to solidify his position in the championship. He's 5th at the moment, but consistency is key, and my oh my, he's charging through the field right now, Jay.
Yeah, Jay was doing a great job right now, but Valu, his race just not going as planned. 33 seconds off the driver ahead, nearly half a lap behind now. But Jack still under a lot of pressure from the McLaren? Yes, McLaren, sorry. Nearly said Mercedes for a second. But Microlander, is he going to look for a move? Jack just putting his car in the perfect position to hold him off.
Yep, indeed. I think Jack knows Michelander's racing style by now. He's probably going to be under a bit of pressure when the softs become too much tyre wear at the moment. Michelander's going to go for the move into turn 1. Can he make it stick through turn 2 and 3? They're still going side by side as they head towards the start of the SS section. Can he get a better exit into the S's? Yes, he does. Michelander is leading this race, and we've got an incident of scars, which is a yellow flag in sector 1. So where did scars go off?
Turn 1. Scars went off into turn 1.
Oh, so whilst we were watching that battle happening, that's what happened to Scars. He was running, I think, 6th or something, or near the top 10 anyway, but now he's down in 13th. So, yeah, that's a shame there. But Michelander, I think he's going to keep that lead for just a little bit longer. I think this is where the softs are going to start to degrade at the moment.
Yeah, Jack did a great job at defending, but now that the McLaren has been let loose, you can see the gap just extending between the two drivers. But you know what isn't extending? It's the gap between Jack and Silly Sly Guy. So the Haas driver's still there and still raring for those positions.
I think Silly Sly Guy is doing the right thing. He's being as patient as he possibly can to try and get that position and make it stick.
Exit.
The exit's gone off somewhere, and that was just after Spoon. Yeah. They can catch it out in Spoon. I've done that a few times where I've almost took someone out in Spoon, and I'm still waiting to hear results from that verdict in one of the leagues, but yeah, I'll probably get a penalty for that. But anyway, Vexit.
Anyway,
enough about that. Jack is still within 4 tenths of Michelander. Silly Sly Guy dropped a little bit on Jack though, so Jack, I think, is turning his notches up at the moment, turning his engine up at least, and trying to make sure that he can keep P2 in this race. No penalties so far this race. I did say dry conditions will be harder for people to get corner cut and track limit warnings, and definitely this is proving it to be today. I'm going to watch out for the Degners though, because that is where I've got a few warnings in track limits, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Well, there has been penalties. There was Jensen who had penalties, but he's unfortunately retired from the race. It's a shame that he's had to do so. But Jack just losing grasp of Microlander right now. Now 9 tenths behind. Just managing to hold on to the DRS. Nearly slipping through his fingers though. Silly Sly Guy 6 tenths behind. Just biding his time behind the Renault. Not going for any moves that are unnecessary.
The gaps, I think, from everyone are ranged between, I would say, 6th and 9 tenths at the moment from some of the drivers. Value's getting a 3-second time penalty, so the first time penalty of the session, apart from Jensen for multiple warnings there. Don't forget, you get 4 warnings, and then you'll get, 3 warnings and plus 1 more, and then you'll get a slam dunk penalty as well. And if you get, basically, if you get 30 seconds worth of penalties, which are 3 seconds, you will get disqualified. So hopefully we won't get that, but this is a track where corner cutting is hardly happens around here, so there's nothing to worry about here. But yeah, no one is signing up for a move, but I'm keeping a close eye on Ben at the moment. He started 10th and started 10th, and he's now in 8th position at this moment in time, as I also have a look at positions gained for the drivers. Noobidoo, Ben, Wisp gained 2, Defoe gains 3, Phil gains 1, and despite Vexit's spin, he's gained 6 positions. Has someone's gone off? That is a Renault driver, I believe, or is it McLaren?
I think it might be Sam. Yeah, it's Sam.
Ooh.
Sam off. He's going to have to get himself back into the pit lane. This is the second trip he's had into the pits this race.
Yeah, and he's retired as well. So the points that he's got last week, I think it's a 3.1 of him at the moment. And I think I just commentated cursed him. But Jack and City Side Guy, I think the train is getting big enough between these three that they just can't make the move stick. That's what DRS trains are, unfortunately, inevitable for, to be honest. If you're stuck in one, you're going to have trouble unless you're following a car which doesn't have DRS. Meanwhile, Noobidoo is going for a move on Peruna. Can he go to his right-hand side line into turn 1? Look at Ben! Ben is saying, if you can't make the move stick, I'm going to. As he's made the run through turn 1, can he do the same to what Michael Lander did? He's going to get the better run heading in towards turn 2 now, heading towards turn 3, still going side by side once again.
Wow.
And then it takes it, and Noobidoo lost it a little bit there, so he's lost place to Peruna too. Ben's now up into 6th after starting 10th.
Looks like Jack's made a mistake as well, because he was 6/10 behind Microlander. Now he's nearly 1.5 seconds.
That's not good for Jack. I think that's the thing I was talking about, Kai. I think because I was talking about the deltas, you're losing 6/10 between the soft and the mediums at the start of the race. But I think it's coming to a point now where the mediums are a better delta than the soft right now. So that is why Jack is struggling, and I think that's why Peruna is struggling as well. So that's a shame. But we've got 3 retirements, now 4 retirements due to Valu retiring in the pit lane, I believe. So that we're down to 14 drivers. That means more chances for people to score points. But City Sly Guy 2/10 behind Jack now. I think it's not going to be a question of if, it's going to be a question of when for City Sly Guy.
Yeah, you can see the Haas driver just sitting behind the gearbox of the Renault Top Jack. Those soft tyres just really not working for him right now, and I'm pretty sure you'll be very happy to go into the pit soon for a fresh set of rubber.
Yeah, but he's got to. I think he's doing soft to mediums, you know. I think he's doing soft to mediums.
I think he'll try it.
He's trying it. As nobody gets past Peruna, and I think Wisp will do the same as well. No, he's not doing 2 yet, but he will probably do it on the next lap. There's only a few overtaking opportunities, but what City Sly Guy, can he get the move into Degner 1? No, he does not. I think he's just going to bind his time because he knows that Jack will have to pit soon. And but he's going to be worried that he's going to lose time to Michael Lander. I've been held so many times by a slower car in a few races, and that cost me a few positions. I hope Silly Sly Guy won't fall into that trap. He's got to, I think, get the move done now.
Yeah, I do think that City Sly Guy has to go for any opportunity he gets now, because he's just losing so much time sitting behind Jack on those old soft tyres. The Haas driver's medium tyres are still working very well on the car for him, but it's just losing him time sitting behind him now.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Jack, I think the rears are probably about 40% at the moment, which is pretty much danger territory. I wish we can see in the game how we do it, but we'll have to find out. Jack staying out then, so yeah, he's committed to the soft to medium strategy then. And Silly Sly Guy has got the pit window coming up on his screen, but here we go. Silly Sly Guy gets the move into turn 1, easily does the Haas car, and he is in second place at the moment. But it's going to be tough to try and catch up to Michael Lander, but we know he's quick and he can do it, and he'll be a lot more patient than last week. Vexit gets past Phil for P10 of this race.
See, Silly Sly Guy, he's got the pace, and he's not sitting around. You can see the delta just dropping between Microlander and Silly Sly Guy, now nearly under a second. So Silly Sly Guy using all the pace that he's been yielding in, sitting behind Top Jack, and now he's just letting it all out on the track, and you can clearly see it.
I think he's screaming and shouting and letting all out. He wants to get that move done now. I mean, he's pushing, he's doing all he can, and he's now going to be, we're trying to get within that second range in order to get the DRS from Michael Lander. He's 1/10 away. Can he do it before the detection zone? I think the detection zone is in the Casio Triangle. I think it's going to be a little too late. City Slide Guy has got a warning light for fuel, so he's got to be careful for that. And ERS is deploying rapidly, 21%, so he's in danger there. He's not going to get DRS at this lap, but maybe next lap as Jack goes into the pit, and I do believe he'll be going on to a fresh set of mediums, which I believe he does. Yep, he does.
So Jack committing to that soft medium strategy now. It's just going to be a question of how he's going to be able to gain back the time that he's lost.
That is an issue, and I'm a bit worried for him because he's going to probably be stuck behind people on mediums that will have to pit soon. And he's got some clear air for now, but once he gets near Scars, it's gonna be hard to try and get past him, because we know Scars could defend for his life. But usually when I try and try and defend from people who are on fresher tyres, I usually let them through anyway if I still need to pit and they don't, because otherwise I'll be holding them up. I'll be behind them anyway on track by a fair margin. So I think that's what Scars will probably be doing soon, as does a lot of these drivers. As well as Jay's up into third so far in this race, but don't forget, Top Jack has pitted. And I think Peruna, he's got to respond to Jack, as Vexit is up into ninth, as I believe he got past Phil. I didn't actually know he's in 10th because obviously Jack pitted, sorry about that. But Vexit is right on the gearbox of Whisper now. He means business. I know he started last, but he wants to gain as many positions as he can. He's going to try. Is he going to try for even 130? No, he's not. He's not going to try it in 130R, but can he do it through the Casio Triangle? Both leaving as much space as he possibly can. Some clean race from all these drivers today, but I believe that Peruna goes in.
Peruna's in the pits. So I think something to take into account is, first of all, Vexit making a textbook overtake down the straight on Wisp. And also, the undercut around Japan is very strong, and I think if Jack pushes very hard right now, he's going to execute it perfectly, and he'll come back out in the lead when these other drivers pit.
Yeah, I think he's probably timed it well, but don't forget, Kai, everybody else is on the means is going to be on fresher softs at the end, and I think the only way which Jack may be threatened, or he may get another chance to go on another set of softs, is if a safety car comes as well. But I've seen safety cars come very late into the Grand Prix. If it's from around about lap 20 onwards and you've already done your mandatory pit stop, there's no point pitting. You're going to lose so much time, you're going to lose so much positions. It's going to be hard to overtake as well, so I would rather stay out. But let's hope there's no safety cars in this race. We haven't got one so far. I think we got one VSC, but that's pretty much it. But Michael Lander leads 1.7 seconds behind City Side Guy. So City Side Guy has lost a bit of time, but we're watching Scars on the back of Wisp again, I believe. Yes, he is. And he's just dropped a little bit further back at the moment. So I think this is going to stay as it is before the medium runners pit in around about 3 laps time, Kai.
Yeah, so Jack gaining hand over fist on the drivers ahead of him. He's pushing like there's no tomorrow, and that Renault car is performing very well on those medium tyres right now. And I know there's such a thing as commentator's curse, but I think Jack is in the running of definitely a podium, if not the win.
I'm going to play it safe, Kai. I'm going to say podium, because if I say win, I usually jinx him. So I'm going to say podium, and then I set my expectations low, and if he gets higher, then I'll probably be very delighted. But he's absolutely pushing right now. He's going to set fastest laps as well. There's quite a few Michael Lander fans in the chat who was hoping that Michael Lander could get ahead of Jack. But yeah, I've noticed that, Kai, as well, with the undercut being powerful. I lost so much time when everyone in front of me pitted before. So, you know, it's a no-brainer, really. If you got the opportunity to do the undercut, I would say do it. There'll probably be people watching the stream right now. I don't know how, because I would find watching commentary whilst racing too distracting. But yeah, I would definitely go for the undercut.
You said that you don't want to jinx anybody, but actually, unironically, my next question was going to be, as we're halfway through the race now, who are you going to put as your top 3?
Okay, I'm going to go Michael Lander, Jack, City Sly Guy.
I'm going to go Jack, City Sly Guy, then Mike Rolanda. I'm putting the Renault on top. I have faith in Jack.
Yeah, I have faith as well in him, but I don't know. I'm just worried. I've already jinxed people already, according to Josh, but there we go. As Vexit gets past Nooby Doo for 6th place. Again, he's on a comeback charge, I have to say. I mean, he's had a little spin earlier, but he's not doing too bad. He's inside Max Motorworks team for a reason. He's actually heading the team at the moment, and he is a fast driver, and he's performing very, very well, despite the challenges he's faced in qualifying and in the race. He's got to find 5 seconds to Ben, which is going to be tricky, but Vexit doing very well too. He may not be far off, and also Wazik as well. Wazik, no mistakes at the moment. He's staying in 4th place.
Yeah, so staying in 4th place right now is Wazik. He's doing a very good. He's doing a very good job there. He's the AlphaTauri. It's a great result for him so far, but I'm sure he's going to push a bit later on, and I'm sure he'll be looking for a podium as well.
I think he would. And Wazik is known in the Twitch community, has a good following now, and, I think a lot of fans will want to see Wazik do well in this race. But we're pretty much halfway now in this race now, as everybody is getting their rhythm, getting their mojo at the moment, trying to find the best time. I think Michael Lander would want to go for the undercut, I'm almost certain. I think Jay as well. I think Wazik will probably be brave as well, since he's got a little bit of traffic. Scars, I'm going to watch Scars again. He's going side by side with one of the racing points, which is Wisp. No longer be racing point after when the F1 2021 game releases. And Scars is now up into 8th position. Scars is on fire once again. Again, he had that trouble early on, where I think he spun in turn 1 whilst we were following on the battle for the lead between Michael Lander and Jack. But he's definitely almost going back to where he was since the start of the race. So he is gaining a bit of time right now.
Yeah, so I've just worked it out. There's about a 23-second gap between Jack and Michael Lander right now. I don't know what the average pit time is, but I'd say something around that.
I've got it written down, I believe, from what I remember from yesterday's racing commentary. And let me just have a look quickly. It is 21 seconds is the pit loss time in the dry.
So it's going to be very close. If Jack just pushes that extra bit right now, he is going to be in contention for coming out in the lead.
Yeah, especially with that undercut. I mean, I think Jack, with Sam out of the race, Sam will probably be helping him just a little bit more potentially, and giving him advice, as well as Wisp got past Scard again into the Cassio triangle. Wisp is not giving up. I mean, Scard has gone off the grass and he goes into the pits. He's going to be the first driver to pit for some probably soft tyres, as Jack gets past Scars as well, obviously due to the pit lane. So he's in 10th at the moment, so he's going to be in. He's definitely going to be in for the points, Jack, I have to say. He's doing very well for that. So even with Sam's demise, he's going to still be in the points. And I think it's going to wake up Michael Lander thinking, right, I've seen one of my main rivals pit for soft, Scars. I think I need to pit now. I think he's going to pit now. You can pit now. It lasts 12 laps. It's now 11 laps to go. Well, pretty much 12 laps to go. 11 laps to go after the end of this one. So yeah, they can go in for the soft right now, and it can make it to the end.
Yeah, I think that with those medium tyres going off, Jack's just gaining more and more time on the drivers ahead. And this is all just kind of playing into Jack's hands. This is all part of his plan, and it's going pretty accordingly right now. Michael Lander just losing more and more time on those old mediums. When is he going to pit? When's he going to dive into the pit lane? That's going to be the question. Neither of the top two pit. Will Jay dare to pit? No, he won't. So none of the top three drivers pitting, which means Jack will just be gaining and
Wazik's in the pits. So is Ben. And so is Vexit.
Might be the undercut that they need. This may be the undercut that Wazik needs to get a podium.
Maybe Ben as well. We don't know. Any one of those people could get a podium. Definitely, I would say Wazik definitely will get a podium. if he gets his undercut right.
Changing it again now. You're changing your prediction again.
That's because IRL has lots of action. You can't be static with your prediction. Yeah, unpredictable. That's what I like. So, I think due to the fact Wazik has been consistent throughout the whole race as well, he could be one of the favourites. But I don't know. It's going to be tough, especially the likes of City Side Guy and Michael Lander and Jay also on the soft tyres very, very soon. As Nooby-Doo gets a penalty. That's not good for Nooby-Doo.
That's going to hit him hard. That's definitely going to leave a mark at the end of his race. But with that 3-second time penalty, no one around him has a penalty. Jack right on the back of Phil, though. He's losing a lot of time behind the Ferrari on the hard tyres. He needs to get past him as soon as possible. Will he be able to do it down the back straight coming out the spoon?
We shall see, of course.
Using his overtake. Will he try to go for another move into 130R? I don't know why, but Phil's defending the inside and he lets past Jack.
That's crucial now because Silly Sly Guy is staying out. Michael Landers in and Jay.
Where he comes out.
And Jay is coming in as well. Nooby-Doo, we'll see with Jack as he heads towards the final corner. Well, just past the final corner now. And let's see what he can do.
He'll come quite a big gap.
Oh, Michael Landers come out ahead.
With actually quite a comfortable margin between them.
I think what made the difference was Jack got held up by Phil on the hard tyres. I think that made the difference.
1.5 seconds and Microlander on the much quicker tyres. Jack has no chance of catching him now.
Definitely not. So I think playing safe definitely worked. But we'll see because I think Jack will be under threat soon from Jay because we know that the delta is 6 tenths, and I do know if you do the medium to soft strategy, the alternate strategy is OP, really, to be honest. I've seen a few people do that. I've seen a few people overtake me, so I think Jay's still got a good chance. Wazik, Ben, Vexit. I don't know who's going to get the podium. Let's just watch the rest of the race, see how it unfolds. And, Jack's got a penalty.
Oh, no.
I think
picked up that 3-second time penalty. That's a massive shame for him. And unless other drivers get a penalty, it looks like his podium may be under threat now.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to kick himself and he's going to be like, Jess, Kai, why did you predict me for the win on the podium?
Because we believed in him.
Yeah, we believed in him. We believed in him and he did. Unfortunately, I think maybe starting on the softs may have been good at the time, but due to the fact everyone on the soft pushing ever so harder, it's going to be hard. But the only one yet to pit is Phil. Everybody else is pitted. Silly Sly Guy is going to be... he's going to be stuck behind traffic now. Oh, this is dangerous for him, but we know he can do it. He's done it before, and this could be Silly Sly Guy's first point in the league and first ever podium as well in the league too.
So Silly Sly Guy in, let's just say, pretty. I don't know what to say. I don't want to jinx him, but I don't want to say that he won't get a podium. So let's say it's
points.
It's very probable that you'll get a. It's very probable that you'll get a podium.
Yeah, let's just say that he's got out of between. I think Silly Sly Guy and Jay. I think Silly Sly Guy has more chance as he needs to get past Phil now. Will Phil let Silly Sly Guy past? And I think he does. Let's hope he does. Let's hope Phil does not challenge him. He's challenging him. Oh my god. This is not good for Silly Sly Guy. But he gets a better run due to those delta times. And Silly Sly Guy is back into podium contention as Phil goes in the pits for, I believe, the soft tyres.
Yeah, that will be a fresh set of softs going onto that Ferrari. The scarlet red all over the place now. Those soft tyres hopefully are able to perform well for him, and he's able to get in some faster lap times than he's been doing right now because those hard tyres did not look very good on the car. And let's see if he's able to catch on to the guys ahead to get a podium.
This race has gone so quickly. I thought we were on lap 12. We're on lap 20 now, Kai. This is I like
7
Japan. Can we have Japan next week as well?
Japan short. Throw it in the mix.
Yeah, do Japan short. I would like that. I don't. We've had Bahrain short in many leagues as well. Can leagues do Japan short? Even if it's a 20, like even if it's a 50%, like even if it's just a 100% race, just do Japan short. Go on, just do it. Like if any league owners are watching this race, do Japan short in a calendar. I would love to see it.
You know what I would really like to see?
What?
And this is just what I'd like to see from many leagues, is like the F2, you've got the main race and then you've got the sprint race. So what you could have is you could have the main race, and then you could have, depending on where people finish, you could have a reverse grid short race on the short track.
So like a 25% race maybe, 25% race.
I mean, like a 50% race,
Wait, hold
which
on
is
a
the
minute,
normal
Kai.
race.
I'll have to cut you. There's a battle between Noobidoo and Scars. He gets it through past the Casio Triangle, and Noobidoo is on fresher tyres, which helps him a little bit. Noobidoo still in the point, and we've got more penalties than I thought. The only ones yet to have a penalty is Michael Lander, Silly Sly Guy, Jay. We've got Scars and Noobidoo once again. Go for the switchback. Noobidoo. Scars is fighting back at the moment. I'm not checking how many penalties people got, because I want to leave it as a surprise at the moment. And Phil is got no penalty, so he can still get points, Phil. It's not out of the question for him. Let me check. Yeah, it is possible, actually, for Phil. I'll take it.
Yeah, so... Yeah, then... Yeah, I think he'll take it as well. And as I was saying, what I would like to see is... So, like the F2 format, you have 2 races in the weekend, one normal, one short. You could have the normal race, which is the normal league race. Everyone's used to that. And then, just for a bit of fun, you have a 50%, for example, Japan short, which you get half the points for, but it will still give people a massive boost in the championship.
Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, I think it also provides more unpredictability, just like we've seen tonight, but a lot more.
For a reverse grid.
Yeah,
it would give more drivers more chance at being a contender for the championship lead.
Yeah, exactly. Like we see with Mick Schumacher doing very well in the reverse grid races where he started on pole and being able to keep it together as well. I think Hungary is a race that got into mind for him as well, and obviously he's in F1 this season, which I'm so happy about. Finally to have a Schumacher name in the F1 grid, and I hope he does well, I have to say. But let's see. Phil gets past Peruna then, and he's up into 11th place. He can sense the points now. He can sense the point. I mean, let's hope he. Well, we're not allowed to show bias, but let's hope he can catch up about 2 more seconds actually, and then he's done it. So it is possible for him, but Jat is under threat from more drivers now. From Silly Sly Guy.
Very close to him now, and also Jay is within the penalty range, so the podium for now is shaping up to be Microlander, Silly Sly Guy, and Jay.
Yeah, I think that I was predicting Microlander and Silly Sly Guy there, but I put Jack on the podium. Sorry, soz. But, you know, Jay's been on the podium many times before. Obviously, he was IRL champion in Season 1. And to be honest, he doesn't have to win every race to win the championship. As long as he's keeping up there in the top 3 or maybe the top 5 in most races, he's fine. As Silly Sly Guy, it's a question of when really for Silly Sly Guy. That was an easy move, I have to say, and I think Top Jack did not challenge Silly Sly Guy at all.
Yeah, and Jack now looking like he's going to fall victim to the Williams chasing it behind him. You don't get to say that often in commentary, especially if it's real life. Jay in the Williams looking for a podium here, just chasing up to the back of the Renault car, and as you said, it's just going to be a matter of when and where he makes this move stick.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial for Jay, but I think he wants to get the move done now because he's worried there's going to be other people that are challenging him for positions, and Jay's got to take advantage that he has no penalties, whereas the majority of his rivals behind him and in front of him have penalties apart from the top 2. So as long as he can keep it consistent and have no penalties, P3 is his. But he wants to have like a contingency plan, plan B. So if he gets past him and if he gets a 3-second penalty, it won't matter too much if he does, because he'll still be, I think, in shot of a podium. So, you know, he's got to keep his options open, I think.
Yeah, I think Jay, just what he needs to do now is just keep his nose clean, not pick up any penalties, and it looks like that podium is going to be his. He has DRS enabled down the straight.
Whoa,
is he going to look through
do? Nooby do on the move there on past 130R. We got Jay as well and Jack. Oh, so much moves happening.
Jack manages to hold it.
Jack, fair play.
Jack manages to hold his line, but this is just holding up Jay now. This is not what the Williams driver is wanting right now. I'm sure he'll be cursing the driver ahead right now. Not very happy, but it's fair, it's clean, and it's some very great driving from the two of them to have no contact there. Wazuk now brought into contention, but unfortunately he does have that 3-second time penalty. Only
3 seconds, so I think the only person he's got to worry about is Vexit, and the gap is 3.8. So, and Jack. Vexit's got 7 tenths to find in a few laps. If he does that, Vexit will be back. I think he can do it. But
yeah, we know Vexit's a very fast driver. It's 100% possible for him to do.
No, not 100. I would say 200.
200?
Yeah, I'm very confident.
You think he's gonna find 1.4 seconds then if you're 200% confident?
I don't know. I'm like a 200% sure that he's gonna get past Wazza. That's what I was trying to say. I was just very, very confident. But anyway, Newbie Dude trying to get the move once again on Scars. We got someone right in the middle of that. That's Wisp going for the move there. Meanwhile, Jay gets past Jack.
Yeah, Jay managed to make the move around the outside into the first corner. Textbook overtake. He didn't manage to do it the first time, but he's managed to do it the second. Now, Wazuk, all he needs to do is get past Jack. This will be Wazuk's best finish if he does finish 4th. He's currently in 5th, but 3 tenths behind him.
Wisp gets to move on Scars, so Scars has dropped down to 10th now.
So 3 tenths out of the zone, 1 tenth, 2 tenths out of the zone now is Vexit. Vexit very close to the penalty zone of Wazuk. Wazuk, what he needs right now is to pick up the DRS on the driver ahead and make a move stick that doesn't lose him time.
Wait, he's not that far. He's a few thousandths. Has he done it? Yes, he's done it at the moment. Oh, no, it's back to 3 seconds. Oh, now it's 2.8. He is on fire, Vexit. I would probably be one of the contenders for driver of the day after starting last and being able to finish 6th. That is a qualities of a really good driver.
Gonna have to say, so far, driver of the day has to be Vexit. 2.6 seconds behind Wazuk now. Jack still defending his position, not wanting to give it up at all to anybody, no matter what tyres they're on. Still managed to hold his ground. Jack, he might even be looking for a P4 here, but if Vexit just gains a couple more tenths, Vexit's looking for a P4.
And I wouldn't have thought Vexit would have got P4 with the issues that he's had during the race. I mean, that is just fair play to him. I mean, if he keeps this up in many races, he could be on for a good finish. This is the Asian part of this calendar of the 4 races that I'll be doing before I go back to my league race on a Friday night. This is just a nicer break from that before we start again for our new season. But this has been I've enjoyed this race so far, and I can't wait for many more action to come. I can't wait to see the highlights as well. As Wazit 4 tenths behind Jack now. He's got, if he doesn't want to lose time, and if he doesn't want Vexit to gain, Wazit has to get the jump, because otherwise Jack will definitely also lose P5 potentially as well. So this is going to be dangerous for Jack and Wazit, but you know, Vexit, he is no stranger to gaining positions.
Yeah, Mike Erlander just made his way onto the final lap, and Jess, I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure to have you here today, and I look forward to the next couple of races that we have together. I think it's been some great action here today in Japan. Talking about action, Wazik's going to have a little look around the outside. Will Jack be able to hold his line? Yes, he will, but Wazik's still there, and he picks up another penalty. Wazik completely out of contention now.
So that will put Jack up to 5th. I believe, won't it? Yeah, it will. It will put Jack up to 5th. So Wazik on the final lap, getting a penalty. F's in the chat for Wazik.
He's going to lose out to Ben as well.
So Ben will... Wow. So I wonder if Ben was paying close attention to that. He must be delighted there as well. But as Michael Lander heads now into Spoon Curve, he could slow down a little bit. He's 7 seconds clear of Silly Sly Guy. He has been the driver that I was not expecting to get pole, but since he's got pole, he's basically been challenged by Jack, and that's it. But he's led his own race from there, so well done to him.
Michael Lander absolutely controlled the race from pretty much start to finish. Had a little bit of a challenge at the start, as you said, but as he completely slows it down across the line, it is going to be Michael Lander who takes the win out here in Suzuka. It's going to be Silly Sly Guy P2 and Jay with that very comfortable P3. Vexit, it looks like he is going to get P4 here today. Then it's going to be Jack, then Ben, then unfortunately Wazik gets that penalty on the final lap and it drops him down to P7. What a shame for Wazik. As the 2 Racing Point drivers finish their race, it is going to be Newbie 2, then Phil, then Wisp, Scars, Nick, Peruna and Defoe as he just makes his way down into the final couple of corners. He will round out the grid here today. It's been chaotic to say the least, but Jess, what did you make of it?
I loved it. Japan always brings some great races in league racing, and tonight is definitely proof that Japan is a great race to watch and even race on as well. It's definitely a driver and fan favourite.
Yeah, and Defoe gets fastest lap there at the end on the last lap. He does unfortunately finish last, but at least he's got that fastest lap driving bragging rights. Vexit driver of the day for the game, and I think me and Jess can both agree that it will be our commentator's driver of the day as well.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with the game. I think Vexit driver of the day, double points for McLaren. I think McLaren boys backing Woking will be very happy with that.
Yeah, well, we've seen quite a few overtakes, and we've actually forgot to do this for a couple of races, and it's completely my bad, but we a couple of times did a overtake of the week, an overtake of the race. For me, it has to be Jack. I think it was around the outside of 130R.
Yeah, I'm thinking of exactly the same. So I'm going to go with, I can't remember what lap it was, but I hope this is on the highlights.
Race.
But anyway,
I really hope it is.
Yeah, let's go through your order then. Michael Lander wins from Silly Sly Guy. Jay in 3rd. Vexit in 4th after starting 18th. Wow. Jack in 5th. We've got Ben in 6th after starting 10th. I think he was one of my other contenders for driver of the day as well, keeping it clean throughout, apart from his penalty. Wazik in 7th. Newbie 8th. Phil in 9th. And we got Wisp in 10th. And then we got Scars, Nick, Peruna and Defoe, and then your retirements are Valu, Sam, Jensen and Dimitri, and that marks the end of the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, a very eventful race, and as you guys have guessed in chat, it is time for the interviews. So our podium was Silly Sly Guy, Mike Orlando, and also Jay. So if those 3 drivers can make their way into the Tier 1 waiting room or any VC, which I am able to drag drivers into. So we do have Mike Orlando available, we have Silly Sly Guy, and we are just waiting on Jay. So I think we'll do Mike Orlando first. He won the race, amazing drive from him. So Jess, you want to conduct this first interview?
Yeah, I will. I don't see him in the chat. Oh, there he is. Michael Lander, first of all, congratulations on your win in Japan. Talk us about that final quali lap to start with in the wet conditions. We thought that Silly Sly Guy had it in the bag, but you just pipped him to the post and delivered a fantastic lap in the wet conditions, and that probably helped you get a good race in Japan as well. So talk about that lap.
Yeah, it really did help. Well, basically, at the start of the session, it was thunderstorms, and
Wow.
I probably should have set a lap earlier on, and then I came out about 5 minutes into the session, and I was about 2 seconds off the pace. So I went out at the end, and I knew I probably had about a second in hand, but I really sent it on that final lap, and I just about got it, and it really set me up for the race. Well, that did.
Yeah, you were able to go on free choice of tyres as well. What made you decide to go onto the mediums instead of going onto the softs? You saw Jack, one of your rivals, go on the softs. When you went onto the grid, did you think it was the right decision to stay on the mediums?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of knew there'd probably be some things. If there's like a safety car or something happen in lap 1 or 2, then I'd be much better off to be on the mediums. And I know that starting on softs is probably not as good if you're in dirty air, so I knew that was all around the best choice I could make.
And then later on in the race, in the first stint, you managed to get past Jack when Jack's tyres started to degrade as well, and then you basically controlled the race from there. Was it hard to keep it penalty free, or did you find it easy from that point?
I was quite in the zone, to be honest. Around here, I'm actually quite good at keeping it within the limits, but it certainly helps when you have no dirty air. It's because I was still pushing as much as I could, really, but it was all about managing. I didn't want to use too much theirs early on, but I did have to use quite a bit of theirs to get past Jack, but that was quite a vital move for me.
I think both of us thought that soft to hards will probably be the best option, but people were proving us wrong doing soft to mediums there as well. How warm were your soft tyres at the end there?
They were quite worn, but oddly around here, the tyre wear is actually quite nice, because normally you'd have a lot more wear on the rears. But for me today, it was within 2% on every tyre.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really nice and controlled today.
That is an example of tyre management 101 from Michael Lander.
That is.
Yeah, so well done there as well. Obviously, we didn't follow you too much towards the end of the race because you controlled it really. So
It probably wasn't that entertaining.
No, but to be honest, you could have slowed down at the end. You could have still get the win. But we will. I can't remember where we are next week. But in the Asia section, are there any tracks where you're feeling a little bit more confident that you could replicate what you did in Japan today?
Hard to say, really. I'd say Japan is probably one of my better tracks. I know it's China next, so that would be a tricky race. And then it'd be Singapore afterwards, so there's some really interesting tracks coming up. I think it could be really mixed up for everyone.
I think Singapore is probably the longest race in the IRL calendar, so we're looking forward to that one as well. And since it is China next week, can you put a prediction on where you think you will finish next week?
I reckon P2 behind Vexit.
Oh, that's a good call, I have to say. I'll let you go and celebrate your win. Big congratulations for you, and best of luck for next week.
Cheers.
Have a great day, Michael Lander. It doesn't look like Silly Sly Guy is in any of the voice chats, so it looks like we're going to jump from the top step to the bottom step of the podium, but definitely not the bottom step, to be honest. Our next driver joining us is going to be Jay. So, Jay, a very different race. It was wet in qualifying, and then we had the alternate strategy pull off in the race. You had to make your way past Jack on those last couple of laps of the race. Just talk us through what you were thinking about. Were you just trying to keep it clean, or were you trying to gain as much time on the drivers ahead?
Oh yeah, hello. It was a pretty special race, to say the least. With quali, it was pretty difficult since I kind of made my setup pretty dry quali happy, as I may say. So I felt very good in the qualification, in the dry, in practice, but sadly it rained. So yeah, I did not really have a lot of grip. And there was literally a monsoon. But so yeah, I started P8, so that wasn't too good, and you may have seen my spin as well. Oof. Yeah, towards the end of the race, with Jack, I didn't have any penalties. I did have 2 warnings from like lap 12 onwards. So I tried to keep it clean, but I slowly gained on him, and I could just see his tires were not very happy anymore. Tried to go by the first time, I felt like it went in a little bit deep, so I backed out, and then the second time I just sent it basically, and it worked out. And yeah, you could just see him fall back. So sadly, his strategy didn't work for him.
Yeah, Jay, as Jess just mentioned, the next track next week is going to be China. I'd say it's a love-hate relationship with a lot of the drivers, but how are you feeling going into the races? Is it a track you like, and how do you think you're going to be able to do?
I'm not a very big fan of China, to be honest. So I hope again for a podium, because I am kind of on a podium streak, I believe. But yeah, I'm gonna hope for a podium. I'm not a big fan of China. I'm not the quickest there as well. So a top 3 would be good, and realistic maybe top 4, top 5. Because as you have seen today, Micro has been very quick, and Luke from the back of the grid as well. So it's gonna be a good challenge, to say the least.
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge to say the least, as you said. But Jay, congratulations on P3, and thank you so
Thank you.
much for doing the interview here today, and also providing us with some amazing action. So, Jess, that is going to round it up for Intercontinental Racing League here today. What did you think of it?
Well, to be honest, I think there was some very good racing, clean overall as well, for what I've seen as well. Japan is just brilliant as well, and I'm just excited to see what is happening next week in China. I've experienced IRL as a steward, but it was nice to experience as a commentator, and I can't wait to experience it on from both sides in the next 3 weeks whilst I'm here. So hopefully it'll provide similar amount of action next week when we head to the Shanghai International Circuit.
Yeah, as you said, China next week, and I'm luckily going to be joined side by side with you again. Very much looking forward to that. Well, that is going to round it up here today for the Intercontinental Racing League Round 7 at Japan. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in, and if you want to get notifications about next week's race, make sure to hit that follow button. I hope everyone who's watching has the rest of your day and has a great day as well. And I will see you guys next time. From me and Jess, I am going to say goodbye.